Okay, here's what we're doing. Kennedy Space Center. That's where we've landed, and that's where we're gonna be all day today. It's been about 4 or 5 years since I've been here. I've been here tons of times as long as I've been living in Florida. Love it here. Really looking forward to a fun day today. And we have arrived. We've arrived at Kennedy Space Center. My poor mom. I know she's thinking, who are these morons? Well, we started our day in the rocket garden with a guided tour. And with the exception of one, all of these rockets were built as functioning rockets, not models.
Program. In just 2 years, 1965, 1966, we had 10 manned launches. We had to prove some things. We had to prove we could spacewalk. We had to prove that we could spend a long time in space. And we had to prove that we could rendezvous and dock with another spacecraft. Gemini 4, Ed White, became our very first spacewalker. He was outside of his capsule, tethered, but still outside of his capsule. 6 and 7 launched near the same time.
Next, we headed over into the United States Astronaut Hall of Fame. I've been in here, this is actually my first time in the new one where they actually relocated it to Kennedy Space Center. Years ago when I went, it was actually in a separate building, a separate location, completely off-site, about a mile or so down the road. But they've really done a lot with this, and it's really, really cool.
Each generation inspires the next to go further into the unknown, beyond our solar system, beyond our galaxy.
They have really expanded the actual museum part of the Hall of Fame, and it was really, really well done. The way it's laid out, the way it's even lit, it's really, really cool. It's got a really cool vibe to it. I could spend all day probably just in the Hall of Fame or even the museum part. Very well worth it. I really enjoyed this sort of pop culture that led into the space age. Everything from Buck Rogers to Flash Gordon and all the comic books and Pulp Fiction and all the things about traveling through space that came out years before we actually did travel in space. This is a really neat recreation of the Mercury mission control for the Friendship flights. Now, the last area is the actual Hall of Fame itself, where the various astronauts have been officially enshrined. Next, we're making our way over to the bus, which is going to take us out to where the Saturn V rocket is housed.
Let me out. Let me out. Get me out of this crazy thing.
The bus also takes us past the VAB, or Vehicle Assembly Building, which has been in place since the, I believe, the 1950s, the late 50s is when they built it.
This rocket that you'll see in October of 1958, NASA formally organized Project Mercury with a mission to investigate man's reaction to this new environment.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
For a really big risk. Well, I feel about as small as an ant. It's bound to be out here somewhere. Now, let me introduce you to my friend John Giles, the Crawler project manager.
I'm standing in front of Crawler Transporter number 2. We'll bring it back to the VAB and start the process all over again.
With 50 years and some 3,000 kilometers or 2,000 miles on the clock, NASA expects the crawlers to be in operation for at least another 3 decades.
Now, again, this little bus side trip is no additional fee to your entrance to Kennedy Space Center. It takes you to this building that's basically a museum to the Apollo program. The Saturn V rocket is here. They recreate the Apollo 8 launch, and it's really well done.
This is the firing launch control for the Apollo mission. This is not a mock-up. These are the very consoles we sat at when men first took off to fly to the moon. The tragedy of Apollo 1 had put us a year and a half behind. We were making up for it in one big leap.
You are now in the final minutes before the launch of Apollo 8, right here where it actually happened. Mankind is about to leave his planet behind and journey to another. It is one of those rare moments when history is not being made, destiny is being embraced.
10, 9, 8, 7, 5, 4, 3.
Bend down for the short people.
This is a small-scale reproduction of the Saturn V rocket here, sitting right next to the actual thing. Now this area here is dedicated to the Apollo 1 mission, the memory of the 3 astronauts who perished on the launch pad, Gus Grissom, Edward White, and Roger Chaffee. Now, I didn't verify this, but to the best of my knowledge, the launch pad out there in the distance is the one that all the Apollo missions flew from, all the missions to the moon. Now, this is the exit, and of course, you always have to exit through a gift shop, but they have a lot of really cool stuff here. I love the name, of course, Right Stuff, based on the movie. All kinds of great T-shirts and magnets, and coffee mugs, and caps, and knickknacks, and everything you can imagine with NASA and Kennedy Space Center on it is in here. That was good. I didn't actually buy anything. Well, it's time to head back to the main visitor center now. Our bus has arrived. And we're headed for the exit now. It was a really great, fun day. It's been, like I said, about 4 or 5 years since I've been to Kennedy, so it's cool to get back. On the way home, we decided to stop in Cocoa at the Lone Cabbage Fish Camp, or Fish Farm, or whatever you call it. Anyway, I've been here before. Brooke loves this place, so she always suggests that we go there. It's got a really cool sort of roadside diner feel to it, but the food is, of course, it's what you expect. It's all fried, and it's not good for you, but it tastes delicious. I tried the gator. I got the gator basket with fries.
Chicken tenders with fries and a grilled cheese with fries. Good stuff. Gator. What do you think of Gator?
French fry.
Can't take her anywhere.
They also offer airboat tours around the river here, the St. Johns River. And I believe they even have fishing trips, things like that. But it's a really cool place. It's worth checking out if you're in the Cocoa area.
Well, that was my second trip to Lone Cabbage Fish Farm, and it was really good. It's very tasty. I love the gator. If you haven't tried gator, I recommend it. Tastes like chicken. It actually tastes like steak to me, but it's really good.
Well, thanks for watching, and thanks for going along with us to Kennedy Space Center. We'll see you next time.
Making steak.